What is up? And welcome back to another episode of the Wizards podcast. I'm your host, Greg Finberg. And today's episode, we're going to be recapping another loss. A loss that was, expected, but also a loss that I thought could have been much closer than the end result, barring some interesting lineup changes once again from Brian Keefe, some tough performances from guys like Bub Carrington and Keyshawn George. Some good as well with Bilal Coulibaly. But in the end, the Wizards ended up losing 127 to 108. The Thunder improved to 6-0. Wizards fall to 1-4. Like I mentioned at the top, an expected result. The team played very well actually through three quarters, but the fourth quarter sunk them again. Questionable lineup sunk them again. And I'm going to be here like I do after every game to break it all down. We have to start though with the return of Bilal Coulibaly. He had thumb surgery to fix, I think, a torn ligament in his shooting hand from Eurobasket. Missed the team's first four games. Returned to the lineup tonight against OKC. Started. I talked on the last pod that I didn't know if Bub would start or if they would ease him, or sorry, if Bilal would start or if they would ease him back in. He ended up starting, taking the place of Bub Carrington. The Wizards went with CJ McCollum, Bilal Coulibaly, Keyshawn George, Chris Middleton, and Alex Sarr. Even with Bub Carrington, I was like, do you have a real point guard in this lineup? The first four games proved that they didn't because Bub didn't play well. The ball didn't move. Offense was stagnant. They clearly needed an offensive initiator to run their unit. Insert Bilal Coulibaly, who yes, can play a little bit on ball, but it's not like he's anything more, gives you anything more than what Bub Carrington would give you, probably less in terms of an on ball creator. So you're sort of trusting this lineup with maybe some Keyshawn George guard minutes. Bilal initiated some of the offense. McCollum did too. You have a de facto point guard, but you don't have an actual point guard. And it showed throughout the game. You had 23 turnovers. That was what lost the Wizards this game. They were close. They were within two at the end of the third quarter, or towards the end, eight to begin the fourth quarter, and they just turned the ball over. Every possession, it seemed like the Thunder were getting a hand on a ball or getting steals or blocks or whatever was going on. The Wizards just couldn't get into their offensive sets. I added as one of my keys to the game. The Thunder half-court defense is great. The Wizards also don't have a point guard. I don't even know on this roster if they have a legit point guard. So they had to go quick. They had to force turnovers and run. And that's when they were at their best. But they couldn't get it done in the half court. That's what sunk them. And so I like starting Bilal. Like I do. I think it was a good move. I probably would have moved CJ to the bench and kept Bub in there. Like you need an actual point guard. Not saying that Bub is there yet, but I think he's a better point guard option than McCollum. I just really didn't get that lineup to begin with. And throughout the game, the Wizards' lack of an actual point guard on this roster showed itself with all those turnovers. So definitely interesting starters. Bilal was great though. I mean, the two-way production. He started the game. Just looking on my notes, if you see me looking down here, started the game by forcing a miss on Case and Wallace. Wallace tried to take him off the dribble. Bilal stayed in front of him, forced him to miss the layup. I thought he got a hand on it. They didn't call it a block. He did get a block in transition though. Aaron Wiggins took it in. Euro stepped across the lane. Bilal just stuck with it the whole way, swatted it off the glass. Really impressive play. It's on my Twitter if you want to check out the full play. Um, Forced another turnover when he was face guarding SGA, forced Hartenstein to throw it into the backcourt. So he was active. He had finished with 3 blocks and a steal, so 4 stocks in 24 minutes, which is awesome. Offensively, he was awesome too. I mean, 16 points, 6 of 11 from the field. He started 2 of 5 from 3, missed 2 in the second half to be 2 of 7, 28%, which is around the mark he shot last year. So that wasn't great. But 6 of 11, he made all 4 of his 2-point field goal attempts, which is awesome. And realistically, he played well. I really did like what I saw from Bilal. He had a play in transition where he grabbed a rebound, took it coast to coast, crossed over the defender at the top of the key, and dribbled in for a dunk. That was awesome. Like I mentioned, his outside shot didn't fall as much, but he was confident. He took it when he was open, wasn't hesitant like he was at the end of last year. So I'm confident that as the season goes on, those shots will fall. So I really liked what I saw from Bilal on both ends. He had 12 points on 5 of 8 from the field in the first half. Again, finished with 16, which was second on the team. Really liked what I saw from Bilal. Really impressive. Season debut. Looks like he'll start at that 2 guard spot. moving forward. And we'll kind of see how he progresses, especially with that jumper. Uh, I'm also curious to see when I look tomorrow at the stats when he's the direct primary defender on SGA, because like Shea had 31, he was awesome, but I thought a lot of that work was when Bilal was off the floor or there was a switch and he wasn't guarding him. I thought Bilal did as much as you can. Shea's unbelievable. The amount of tough shots he made if you watch this game was crazy. Sometimes you got to shake your head and smile and be like, what a shot. And a lot of those I think came on Bilal because it was good defense. So I really liked what I saw from Bilal in his season debut. Apart from that, CJ had 19. Just looking at the box score, it was a weird 19. Like I didn't think he would have 19 the way he played. I mean, he's a Cohen on defense. We know that. Yeah, CJ led all scores, 19.6 of 10 from the field, 5 of 8 from three. A very efficient scoring game. That's it's kind of what I expected after watching CJ play in the preseason. A guy that can get you, nearly 20 every game on efficient splits. He didn't do it any of the first 4 games, really. Still didn't look great defensively tonight, but I thought the offense was definitely there. So obviously, if you're gonna hate on CJ after that really bad performance against Philly, a little praise I think is deserved for the efficient offensive night he had in OKC. 14 and 8 for Sarr, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 5 of 11 from the field, made 2 of his 3 threes. Like again, it's another solid performance. He had 4 turnovers though, and that's kind of what I circled here on the box score. Not to be a downer. The hands, man, it was an issue as his rookie year. It's an issue still to this day. He catch the ball, man. Like he's gotta just secure the pass, secure the catch, then go up. He's so antsy when he catches it in the pick and roll, or when he catches a high low. It's just like secure the ball, calm down, and then go. He's doing a little too much. And I mean, it happened with a couple passes. Like he forced a backdoor to George that just wasn't there, forced a couple other passes, resulted in those 4 turnovers. And I have liked what I've seen from him in the short role with his passing, but tonight just wasn't his night. Thunder are also a good defensive team. So look, Sard, another solid night offensively, good production, but he needs to definitely catch the ball, improve his hands, and be a little bit smarter. In the pick and roll when he's initiating the offense at the top of the key. I thought he actually initiated a little too much of the offense. Again, no point guard. That'll happen. Uh, Keyshawn, man, Varun Shankar, the post tweeted it out, and I couldn't agree more. Um, Look, he had 12 points. He was 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from three. That's awesome. Really good splits. He's shooting above 50% from three to begin the year. 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Again, those are great. 5 fouls, though. We talked all offseason about Keyshawn defending without fouling. He fouled out of a summer league game, I think. Definitely did not improve that in the summer, and didn't. It doesn't look like he's improved it now. He fouled out against the Sixers. Then tonight, 5 fouls, minus 14. He also had 5 turnovers. Was that the most on the team? Yeah, 5 turnovers, most on the team. Just I liked the shot. I thought there was a couple of times where he created space, especially when he got to the mid range foul line area, drilled a couple of those types of shots. So I like the control and the balance he played with offensively. But he's got to stop fouling and he's got to stop turning the ball over. Those continue to be issues for Keyshawn. And if he wants to be this complete player that you can run an offense through, those things have to change. And obviously, if you want to be an elite defender, you got to be number one available. You got to be on the court. You can't be in foul trouble. And number two, you got to be able to be disciplined. You got to know when not to reach and when not to jump. And he's still learning that. Again, he's 20, maybe 21, I think at this point. It's only near two. He's going to get there. But those are definitely some areas that I want to see him improve on. Middleton, he was bad again in the fourth quarter and multiple turnovers when the game slipped away. 6 points, took just 6 shots, was a team worst minus 19. Just not a great night for him. I think eventually he'll exit the starting lineup at some point. Just not tonight. The bench I actually thought was good. They were the reason that the Wizards came back in the third quarter, so I did like that. Let's talk about Bub Carrington. We're not reaching like levels of okay, like what is going on. We really need to reassess this because again, he's 20, he's in his second year, he's got a while to go. But tonight clearly showed that all offseason, Will Dawkins, Brian Keefe, everyone lauding Bub as this point guard of the future, and you trade Jordan Poole, you open up minutes for Bub to start at point guard. All of this hype about him being this number one option, not number one option, but the guy to run your offense. Um, at 5 games in, you're already moving on from him at the starting point guard position. It was an interesting take. I think it was the right call because he had not been playing well. The offense hadn't been, initiated through him the way it should with a point guard. But he comes off the bench tonight, and again, he looks lost. For a lack of a better term, he really doesn't look like he knows what his role is. He doesn't look like he knows what exactly is being asked of him, what he should be doing on the offensive end. Is he a scorer? Is he still playing point guard but just in a bench role? It's weird, if that makes sense. He doesn't look like himself like he did at the end of last season. Played 22 minutes, had 3 points, a 1 of 5 from the field, missed all 4 of his threes, was a -11, had 4 fouls, 3 turnovers. I mean, only 1 assist. It gets to the point where it's like he's not a point guard right now. He's not playing point guard. He's turning it over too much. He's not initiating the offense, but he's also not being a scoring guard. Like he's not getting to his spots like he did in the mid range last year. He can't get to the rim for the life of himself. He had a finger roll. That was his only bucket, and that was a really good action off the pick and roll. And apart from that, there was nothing else that was really good about his performance. It just seems like he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, he went over 3 in the first quarter from three, and I mean, I didn't think any of them were. A couple of them were great looks, but it wasn't close. Like I mentioned, he missed all 4 of his 3-point attempts tonight. So it seems like he doesn't know what he's meant to do out there. He doesn't know if he's like the scorer or if he's this point guard. And he's kind of stuck in the middle, which means he's not doing much of either. Um, if that's a good way of describing it, it's not been a good situation, not been a good start to what I thought would be a promising season for Bub. Has probably started the worst it could in terms of his production or lack thereof. So again, that was something I didn't like. He also had a foul. Um, there's like 6 minutes left in the quarter. OKC's in the bonus. He fouled SGA like at OKC's 3-point line, like what is that, like 50 to 60 feet away from the basket? One of the dumbest fouls I've seen. It just showed like it's not going Bub's way. And I think that is his fault, but I think it also falls a little bit on Keefe. Like it goes back to put your guys in the best positions to succeed. Like don't be putting Corey Kispert on LaMelo Ball because that's not where he'll succeed. We're going to talk about Corey later in the show, believe me. Um, but again, don't put Bub Carrington in these situations. Like if you want him to go out and score, put him in a role that he can go out there and get buckets. If you want to be a guard, give him more responsibility. It just seems like it's this middle ground where Bub doesn't really know what he's meant to do out there, which sucks for him and sucks for the team. And I hope they figure it out at some point because this season has just started pretty miserably for Bub. Um, I want to talk. I mentioned the bench earlier. They had a 9-0 run. It was 80. What was it? 83-72 OKC with about 3.5 minutes left in the third. The Wizards bench goes on a 9-0 run. Like it was awesome. They cut the lead to 2. They were playing great defense, forcing turnovers, making shots. The Thunder had a couple shots, like it was 89 or sorry 94 80 92-84 to enter the fourth quarter. So like the Wizards were competitive and like they were playing hard and they were close. They turned the ball over a bunch, yet they were still within 8 to begin the quarter. And Brian Keefe, man, I hate going back to this stuff because again, I'm not going to say this is why they lost, but you're playing great. You're only down. You're only down a couple points in the quarter. And to begin the fourth, Keefe rolls out in a very interesting lineup. I'm gonna try to pull up the lineup. I know someone tweeted it out because I want to get this right, but he went small. Brian Keefe went small to begin the fourth quarter. He goes with Bub Carrington, Corey Kispert, Keyshawn George, Chris Middleton, and Cam Whitmore to begin the quarter. Again, you'd given up 92 points through 3 quarters. That's also not great. Your defense hadn't been good. You've been turning the ball over a lot, and you are somehow still in the game. So what do you think you should do if you're the head coach in the fourth quarter? Well, I think I would want to put out a lineup that can get some stops if I have been struggling on that end. That would be the first thing. but he didn't do that here. Again, putting out a lineup with all pretty bad. I mean, apart from George, bad defenders. Carrington, bad defender. Kispert, awful defender. Middleton, bad defender. Whitmore, bad. I mean, I don't want to say bad defender for Whitmore, but I didn't think tonight he played great defense. So you have Keyshawn as like your anchor there, but you're also going small where you get killed on the glass. They got killed on the glass all night. It was unique. There's no offensive rhythm, and you put out a lineup that has no point guard. Bub Carrington, again, you want him to be a point guard. He did not play like a point guard. So I guess take that off Keefe's hands because Bub was the point guard of this lineup, and he did not do a good job initiating offense whatsoever. So again, 92 to 84. Keep that score in mind because by the time you blink your eyes, it is 112 to 89. And the worst part about that is it was a 4-0 run to begin the fourth quarter. How did OKC go on that run? Well, that's why I'm here. Let me take you through it. You got Cam Whitmore getting a shot blocked. Then you have a Bagley foul. Thunder scored 2 to go up 10. Bagley turnover. Thunder score. And now they're up 12. And you're like, okay, let's see what's going on. And then more turnovers. I mean, Corey Kispert, like this was one of the moments of Corey Kispert to begin the fourth quarter after the 4-0 run. 2 turnovers for Kispert. And just like that, it's 101 to 86 OKC. Keefe calls a timeout after the 7-2 run. And that's the thing, like, Keefe called 2 timeouts during this run. He called one really early. What was it? He took his first timeout less than a minute into the quarter when it was 96 to 84. Obviously, you're going to go make some adjustments. I don't know what adjustments were made, but he goes to make some adjustments. And then he calls his next timeout. Let's see here. 3 minutes later at the 8-minute mark. His team after that was outscored 7-2, and he called another timeout. More turnovers, more fouls. It's just like what adjustments were made. Like you call another timeout. It seems like your message clearly didn't get across, or your adjustments didn't work. And then you go, where's the next timeout? I mean, the Wizards, again, continue to turn the ball over, continue to get outplayed by a better team. But look, SGA wasn't even on the floor at this point. And you blink your eye, and since that timeout, the Thunder go on, and they score how many in a row? It was 101-86 at that timeout. 110. So again, another timeout, a 9-0 run. So in the stretch that Keefe calls his 2 timeouts, the Thunder continue to dominate, and they outscore the Wizards 16-2. What are we doing here? Like, you're calling the timeouts, which is much better than the 2:41 left in the Sixers game where you didn't burn one at all. But even when you're using your timeouts, it seems like you're not adjusting. Like your players aren't responding. Whatever it is, it's not working. Again, a questionable lineup where you go small, you go with Bub at point guard, it doesn't work, and the game is lost. Like, that's where the game was lost, I think. When that lineup went on the floor, they gave up a big run, couldn't stop the bleeding again, and in the fourth quarter, you get dominated. It's as simple as that. I mean, the last 2 fourth quarters. Sorry, let's go with the last 3 fourth quarters. That's what they're outscored by 11 here against the Thunder. They were outscored by 16, so that's 27 by the Philadelphia 76ers. And if you pull up the Charlotte game, they're outscored by 19. So that's 46 points this team has been outscored by in the fourth quarter over the last 3 games. It was the third quarter last year. I don't know if it's going to be the fourth quarter this year. But again, just a complete collapse when the game was close. They were going to lose this game. Nobody is surprised. But again, Shea didn't play the rest of the fourth quarter. OKC sat. I don't know if Lou Dort played the fourth quarter, but like they did this all realistically with their bench unit. Again, that's kind of what I got from that. So just a really bad, I think, lineup to begin the fourth quarter. Been some questionable lineups all season. So definitely interesting on that end. Let's see what else I have in my notes. Again, we talked about Keyshawn, who's shooting over 50% from 3, might be around 60% through the first 5 games. So again, the turnovers bad, fouling bad, but realistically did not mind his performance. Kispert defensively, again, just bad. He had 8 points, 6 rebounds, was 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 4 from three, a -12 on the night. It's just like when you're not playing good defense and you kind of you kind of don't really provide much on that end, it's like, okay, give me some offense. And I feel like I've said that every single time I've done a recap this season. And you look at Kispert's stats. I don't know if this has. I don't think this is actually up as it put in. Yeah, it has. Like Kispert through 5 games this season is playing 21 minutes a game, shooting 48% from the field, 33% from three, uh, averaging 8 points. It's just like you're not doing really much outside of scoring. He scored the ball all right. He's in double figures twice, but the 3-point percentage again dipping to 33% through 5 games. And it's a small sample size, but it just gets to a point where how do you rationalize it if you're Keith? Like your defense has been terrible. You have given up, let's see, 133, 117, 139, 139, and 127. Again, this is a guy, Brian Keefe, that preached defense in the offseason, that said it would be a different year defensively. And the team is coming out and playing zero defense. Zero. The fact that through 5 games, 107 was against Dallas. Like 107 is a huge victory. That's big. Holding them to 107. It's clear when this team defends, they win the game. They can score. It's not like they can't score. But through 5 games, you're not playing any semblance of defense. And Corey Kispert can come off the bench and maybe give you a little bit of juice scoring wise, but he's not playing good defense. You got Cam Whitmore out here again. Like let's pull up the Whitmore stat line from tonight. I think he had, what do you have, 7 points? Yes, 7 points for Whitmore. 5 rebounds, was 3 of 9 from the field, was a -8. Again, it was like, yes, he got his points, but were they in rhythm? I didn't think so. Were they forced? Yes. Did he make the team better when he was on the floor? No. And so you sit here and it's to me, it's empty stats, it's empty calories. And that's what Rockets fans said when Whitmore came over here. And to this point, I don't think that they are wrong. Like, he's averaging 10 points on the season. Great. That's awesome. But, let's look at his shooting splits. He's shooting 44% from the field on nearly 10 shots a game. He's shooting 23% from three on nearly 3 attempts per game. 3 rebounds, 1 assist. He has, what is that? He has 5 assists through 5 games. It's just like I know they do like an assist to turnover ratio. I wonder what Whitmore's shot to pass ratio is. Like, I don't know if you can pull that stat up somewhere. You probably can. But I wonder how many passes Whitmore has made to the amount of shots he's taken. He's taken a lot of shots. A lot of shots for a guy playing just 17 minutes a game. And to this point, I haven't really appreciated the way that he's played. I haven't thought that it's made the team better. So, it goes to be seen. It looks like at this point, it's gonna be a 9-man rotation for Keefe. You obviously have Middleton, George, Sarr, McCollum, and Coulibaly as your starting 5 for now. Kispert, Bagley, Whitmore, and Carrington as your other 4 off the bench. I mean, we saw Trey Johnson as well. I mean, he had 10 points, 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 5 from three. Again, he another solid game. It was probably it was the lowest amount of points he scored, I think, in an NBA game this season. But I didn't think he was particularly bad off the bench. So it looks like it's going to be a 10-man rotation for Keefe. Again, I'd rather go to 9, but I understand it. But it goes back to, like, if you're going to play Kispert, I mean, Champagnie, I think, is the better option. Tristan Vukcevic played a bit in the first couple games, played garbage time tonight, has kind of been out of the rotation the last 2 games. Will Riley, again, garbage time minutes. Same goes for A.J. Johnson. So it looks like a 10-man rotation going forward. And again, we'll see what what Keefe does to this point, but it's another loss, and again, an expected loss at that. Like no one thought the Wizards would come into OKC and shock the Thunder and make end their undefeated season. And through three quarters, like it looked like they had maybe an outside chance, but again, it's just another fourth quarter collapse. And whether you want to blame the interesting small ball lineup that Keefe rolled out there for some reason to open the fourth, then do it. Whether you want to blame Keyshawn's turnovers, Sarr's turnovers, the team's turnovers as a whole, the lack of a point guard, whether you think that's like by design, Will Dawkins clearly, I think Will Dawkins is smart. I don't think Will Dawkins is like, oh my God, we have no point guard on this team. I need to go make this change. He knew that going into the season. I talked about it in the offseason. Like, Bub is this point guard that they want to be a point guard, but TJ McCollum's not a point guard. Neither is AJ Johnson. Neither is Trey Johnson. And realistically, neither is Malachi Branham. Bilal isn't. Keyshawn has shown an ability to like play on ball, but he's not a point guard. They don't have really a true one. They were banking on Bub, and that experiment through a couple games has not worked. Doesn't mean it won't work, but it hasn't worked. So again, for my people that are saying this is by design, like maybe it is. Maybe it's by design to make sure that this team, keeps its pick. It's all possible. I've seen those takes thrown out there, but nonetheless, Wizards fall 127 to 108. They are 1-4 on the season. They've lost 3 in a row since their win over Dallas last Friday, and the road does not get easier. Saturday, they're back home for a game against Orlando, who has struggled, but just went on the road and had a pretty nice win over Charlotte, a team that beat Washington somehow by 26 at home a couple of days ago. Then they're at New York and at Boston. Then they're home against Cleveland and Dallas. Then they're at Detroit and Houston. It's going to be a really tough stretch coming up for this team. Again, not this. I want to say disappointed in this result. Maybe in the fourth quarter and the lack of competitiveness, maybe especially with Shea not playing in the fourth quarter. But overall, not too mad at the effort. Questionable rotations, sure, but great Bilal performance. Keyshawn looks great from three. Just needs to clean up the turnovers and the fouling. Same goes for Sarr. Another really solid performance. Needs to clean up the turnovers, catch the ball. McCollum was better tonight offensively. The bench played decently at the end of the third quarter. Just obviously don't have enough when you're going against the best team in the league. So I can't be too mad at the result. Tank's going, I guess, as expected, and the next 7 games are probably also going to go as you expect. Before I let you go, I do want to mention one thing because I've gotten a lot of questions from people in regards to the Wizards pick swap. I'll run through it right now. If the Wizards finish with a top 8 pick, basically, if they finish with a bottom 4 record, they are guaranteed a top 8 pick. But let's say that doesn't happen, they still get the top 8 pick. They keep it. They will be able to pick in that slot unless the Phoenix Suns are above them in the order. So 2 things need to happen for that swap to be utilized. Number 1, the Wizards, first and foremost, need to keep their pick, which means finishing bottom 4 or finishing with a bottom 4 record, or if they don't, getting lucky and being in the top 8 of the NBA draft. And then Phoenix also has to be bad enough to, after the lottery, get a pick higher than Washington. So the Wizards need to keep their pick by being top 8, and they also need the Suns to be above them in the final draft order for them to utilize that swap. Hopefully that makes sense. And as of right now, it looks like that could be possible. Like the Suns are going to be bad. I think they're going to definitely be a bottom 10 team in the league. They are currently 1-4, same as the Wizards. Like the Nets are bad, the Pelicans are bad, the Pacers are bad. Obviously, the Kings are not good. Raptors aren't good. There's going to be a lot of teams kind of clawing at the bottom. But if you look at Phoenix, like they are not good. They don't have a good roster realistically. They won the opener barely, and they realistically could be 0-5. So it's definitely something to monitor. I've gotten a lot of questions about it. I think they're fair questions. That is a possibility. The Wizards obviously finishing with a better pick than the Suns would take away the need to swap. So a lot of different things would have to go a certain way for that to happen. But if you're a Wizards fan, obviously I think you're probably rooting for your own team to lose a lot of games, but you should be rooting for the Suns to lose a lot of games as well because it's kind of insurance. Like if the Wizards finish bottom 4 and the Suns are in the lottery too, it's like, okay, like if the Wizards get hosed, that sucks. Like maybe they get the second worst record and they fall again to 6. But let's say the Suns are like the 7th or 8th worst team and they jump up to 1. Then if you're the Wizards, you're like, oh, that Bradley Beal trade looks great now. I'm moving up to 1 and I'm getting Cam Boozer. I'm getting Peterson from Kansas, or I'm doing this. It opens up a lot more possibilities. So if you're a Wizards fan, definitely root for the Suns to lose. That only helps the Wizards. Can't really hurt them. So hopefully that answers that question. But that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Wizards fall 127 to 108 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Drop their third straight game, and fall to 1-4 on the season. Next up is a matchup with the Orlando Magic on Saturday. I will be back to recap that one. Might be an early morning upload rather than a late upload. So we'll see about that. But that's going to do it for this episode. Again, thank you guys for listening. As always, go Wiz.